Hello, everybody. This is David, and today I want to talk about Iron Fist, the new Netflix Marvel TV series that's leading us into the Defenders. And I wanted to talk about this Netflix series because I talked about Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage. I enjoyed them all. And Iron Fist was getting me a little nervous because I started hearing all these bad reviews that were coming out. It had like a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like kind of worried about it. But reviews, I try not to let them conflict my own opinion, and I always go in with my own opinion, seeing what I think of certain things, shows or movies. If I listened to reviews, I wouldn't have gone out to see Batman v Superman, which I enjoyed a lot. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I enjoyed it. Same thing with Suicide Squad. Same thing with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. I could give you a whole list of movies that I enjoyed that got negative reviews from critics, and I still ended up enjoying them. Okay, they might not be perfect, but I can still find something good about it. And what about Iron Fist? Is it one of those? I'm going to be honest, I don't know what the heck critics are complaining about because I watched this show and I enjoyed it all the way through. I thought every episode was enjoyable and interesting and had me hooked from beginning to end. I think this could be actually one of the stronger Netflix series. So, to start off with, we have this character, Danny Rand, who is known as the Iron Fist because his fist can glow and turn into, well, it's hard like iron, I guess, because like a sword can try to hit his fist and it breaks, and he can just do one punch and the door breaks down or the wall breaks down. It's like he has a fist of iron, seriously. And we find out through his past that his parents were killed in a plane crash. This is not a spoiler alert because it's all done right in the beginning of the first episode. They start explaining this stuff. But I won't get too much into detail, so don't worry about spoilers. And yeah, so he comes back and things are different. People thought he's been dead for 15 years because he was gone since he was a kid. They thought his parents were dead. And so now when he comes back, he looks like a bum. And people are like, who is this guy? Danny Rand? What? No, he died. But he tries to convince them as best he can, tries to get his identity back. And I really liked all of it. I thought it was a really cool series. The action was badass, not as good as Daredevil's action, surprisingly. I'll admit that. But I still think there were some episodes or moments with some really cool action beats. For the most part, I really enjoyed this character and the storyline where this went and how it ended. I liked how it ended and set up a possible second season, what we'll find out. I did like the villains in this episode, in this series, specifically David Wenham as Harold. David Wenham, if you guys don't know, he was Faramir in Lord of the Rings, and he was in 300, the one with the eye patch, as well as I remember he played the monk in Van Helsing. So having him in this show playing the villain was actually a nice change of pace for him. I really liked him as the villain. He was a really cool, really strong, crazy villain, if you will. It was kind of psychotic off his rocker, and I really like seeing that in him. Danny also has these two old friends, Joy and Ward, who he grew up with knowing, and unfortunately they're not very welcoming when he returns. They don't believe him. They think he's bullshit. Joy, there seems to be a little bit more to her. Like, she seems to be conflicted with him. Like, maybe it is him. Maybe we should help him. And there were times where I thought maybe she would go in that direction. The results, I won't spoil it, but I'm happy where she ended up by the end of the season. Same thing with Ward. Ward, I thought was going to go in one direction, not the band, and he actually ended up in another direction. Ended up by the end of the series where I didn't think he would end up. So that was pretty interesting. They kind of flipped it on me where I didn't think they were going to bring those characters, and I liked I like being surprised sometimes. So there they surprised me. We get Claire back. Claire has been like the Samuel Jackson, the Nick Fury of this series, of these Marvel Netflix series. She's been the glue that's really been tying them apart. Actually, Hogarth is also in this series very briefly. She's in a few episodes, and she plays an important part as well. So maybe there's two Nick Fury type characters, and how will they all factor in to the Defenders? That's going to be an interesting thing, because those two so far are the only ones that are aware of all these characters, specifically Claire, who, has nursed practically all of them. I think the least interaction she had with was Jessica Jones, but she's had heavy relationships with Matt Murdock, Luke Cage, and now Danny Rand. And it was great. And we also get another character named Colleen Wing, who is a dojo trainer. There's maybe a little bit more to her too. I like her character. She was a cool character, and there's some interesting twists with her later in the series as well that I really liked. You might have to watch Daredevil for some other villains that you might be aware of. I think one villain is kind of confirmed, Madame Gao, who was the Asian woman from season 1 of Daredevil. I don't remember if she returned in season 2. But yeah, she is in this series playing some games which are interesting, to say the least. And I thought it was great. I loved, they toned down on references to the larger cinematic universe. I only caught one. I might have missed some others. But the big one that I caught was when they referenced the Incredible Green Guy, which was a reference to the Incredible Hulk. Other than that, most of the references to anything in the Marvel Universe was to the Netflix series itself. There were references to Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and Luke Cage. So this is the final one, and I don't know, well, the final one leading up to the Defenders, which I'm very excited about seeing how they're going to pull that off, especially in 8 episodes. Where would I rank this, though, with the other Netflix series? I still put Daredevil Season 2 as my favorite. Jessica Jones would be my second favorite. Then I'd put Iron Fist. Then I'd put Luke Cage Season 1. And then Daredevil Season 1. That's how I'd rank the 5 seasons of these Netflix shows so far. So with that being said, guys, comment below and tell me what you thought of Iron Fist. Do you agree with the critics that are saying that this is a 12% series? Or do you agree with me, and did you enjoy it like I did? I thought it was very enjoyable. I give it an 8 out of 10, the whole series, or the whole season as a whole. I thought it was really enjoyable. And I liked all the characters. I liked the villains. I really thought this one was cool. A really good Netflix addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, I know the critics who reviewed it only judged the first 6 episodes, I heard. And the first 6 episodes, I was interested in it. I was interested where it was going, so I still don't get it. So with that being said, like this video if you agree with me. And subscribe to my channel, especially if you are a huge fan of these Netflix Marvel series or superhero stuff in general, because believe me, I'm not one-sided. I love Marvel, I love DC. I review a lot of these things because I love superheroes, man. So with that being said, take care.